Alright guys, welcome back to YoSpilt, and in today's video we are going to do a dyno battle. So we have a 2003 Dodge Neon SXT, 138 horsepower, 2-liter Neon. This one has a TTI long tube, a 2.5-inch exhaust with a resonator and a muffler, and it has an intake on it. We're going to put it on the dyno, we're going to strap her down, we're going to see exactly what she makes. It is a 5-speed Dodge Neon. And then we have a Chevy Sonic, which is a 1.4 turbo that makes 132 horsepower, I believe. And it has an exhaust, an intake, and I think that's it. And then we're going to put that on the dyno and see what it makes. So, we got, I think, like 6 or 7 guesses so far from different people. I have a few of my buddies here at the shop. That's who helped me strap the car down. The highest guess was 175 horsepower. And the lowest guess was 84 horsepower. So we're going to start out with the Dodge Neon. We're going to make some pulls. We're going to turn the fan on, turn the fan off, do what we can do to make it make its best pull. So if you ever go to the dyno with your bone stock Dodge Neon, this will be a fair comparison to what it will make on a 65-degree day in Pennsylvania. Here's the ACR. This is a 2-liter Neon that has a turbo kit on it. And on 18 pounds, it makes around 340 wheel. And I have dynoed a 2nd-gen automatic Neon, which is the exact same as this car, that actually had the exact same bolt-ons as this car, and it made 111 horsepower to the front wheels. So that's another thing we can compare in this video is the black Neon that we used to own that was automatic, had this exact same header, this exact same exhaust, and this exact same intake, made 111 wheel. So, what do you think the horsepower difference is of this 2003 that only has 130,000 miles on it versus the 2003 automatic car that had like 260,000 miles on it? If you guys have a Neon, you know, the cold start knock, very common. Single cam Neons have very bad issues with the spark because it is a solid coil. It's not like 4 individual coils. So if you replace it with like an MSD coil or anything like that, you have a lot of spark issues. Always put a stock coil on it. They run so much better. But yeah, leave down in the comments below, what do you think a 2003 Dodge Neon SXT with a TTI long tube, 2.5-inch exhaust, and a cold air intake will make? And then what do you think a Chevy Sonic 1.4 turbo will make to the wheels? And do you think the Sonic will make more power or the Neon? Let's get into some dyno pulls. Let's have some fun with this video. And like I said, we have guesses all over the thing. So I believe the Neon makes 138 crank horsepower, and the Sonic makes 132 crank horsepower. So we're going to have a 1.4 turbo versus a 2.0 naturally aspirated Neon on the dyno today. So enjoy the video. Alright, so first pull, Ashley pulled on the dyno, warming her up. Second pull was just once she warmed up. So now we're going to take the intake tube off with the filter, run it open throttle buddy. I think last Neon I did this too, it gained like 4 wheel horsepower with stock tune. As you've seen, she was spitting fuel out the back. So we'll give her all of the air right to the throttle buddy. If you guys have never seen one of these Neons before, the throttle buddy is actually remotely mounted. So the intake manifold like has a plastic outlet tube, and then your throttle buddy is remote. So it just kind of hangs out in the air and hooks into the factory air box. And it has a rubber tube that goes here. When you get one of these aftermarket intakes, it makes it a steel tube. And then this car does have, you can't really see it down there, but there's a TTI long tube header. And this car also has a full 2.5-inch mandrel bin exhaust. It has a ZZP resonator right there, and it has a, pretty sure it's a Magnaflow or Vibrant. It's actually a Vibrant muffler, but it's full 2.5-inch mandrel bent exhaust. And other than that, she's bone stock, stock tune, stock everything. And I'm pretty sure the rear O2 sensor is unplugged right now. So we're gonna do another pull, see if she gains anything. Hey guys, we lost 1 wheel horsepower disconnecting the intake. If you guys have ever wondered about the medallion, so this is how you stop the dyno, this is how you start the dyno and record the sample. And if you want to put load, this is how you do it. And if you press the center button, you can move around on the menus over there on the screen, and you can go up and down and move stuff around. But simple, if you ever want to use a dyno, brake, sample to start it, brake to stop it, yellow button is to load it. You only use load usually during tuning or to help a car spool. We don't have that currently turned on, but yeah, taking the intake pipe off your Neon loses 1 wheel horsepower on this car. All right guys, so here's the full intake after I let it warm up. So 118 and 125 torque, pulling the intake tube off 117, 121 torque. So pulling your intake off will lose you 4 wheel horsepower. Don't recommend it. This one, the torque is wrong because it was only reading 3,000 RPMs. Because I had the trigger for the dyno reading 360 fire order, where this is 720. That's why the graph looks all crazy. Good old batch fire, crappy Neon factory electronics. So final number 118.96, 125 wheel torque. Hopefully you guys got it close on your guesses, but I've dynoed the same exact setup right here with the auto. And that was the number, was 111 horsepower. So the difference between an automatic Neon and a manual Neon, 7 wheel horsepower with the same exact setup. While we wait for the Chevy Sonic 1.4 turbo to show up, we have a 1.8 Miata turbo on 10 pounds of boost. It has a GT30 style turbo, as you can see right there. Log manifold, 10 pounds, little blow off valve, front mount action. It's on a Mega Squirt ECU, and this was a car that, even though I don't tune, it has a tune that I did on it to make it run way better than it did before. So leave your comments down below. What do you think this thing's gonna make? So 1.8 turbo, 10 pounds, GT30, really conservative tune. Didn't even touch the timing table in the car, but we got her strapped down. Let's see what she makes while we wait for the star of the show, the Sonic, to show up. Each dyno run, you want to hold your car 2,000 RPMs and actually recalibrate the dyno for the wheel speed. A lot of shops don't do this, and that's how you get very skewed numbers. But you should always recalibrate your car for each dyno pull. If you go to a dyno and they do not do this, ask them to do it. It will make the numbers a lot more accurate. Alright guys, so the car was idling at $2,000, and we came under here and the vacuum line was chopped right here, so we just replaced it. So now I believe the fuel pressure regulator is actually hooked up. So the dyno graph should be better. Made what, 190 wheel?
Yeah.
How much torque did it make?
150.
150. So we'll actually have a much better pull. And anytime you have a vacuum leak, you also have a boost leak. So it should technically make more power and hopefully not idle at $2,000 now. So let's get to do another pull. Proper vacuum. No more 2,000 RPM idle. And let's do another pull. So as soon as I got to right around 4,800 RPMs, the intercooler piping decided to leave the chat because it no longer has a vacuum leak, which is a boost leak. So we exceeded the pressure of the intercooler piping that it can hold. But look at that, vacuum leak fixed, and you instantly gain, you know, 40 wheel horsepower or 38 wheel horsepower. And look at the torque. You went from 150 to 255, and that was literally only at 4 grand. So crazy how that works. Yeah, it actually held boost that time.
What was the pressure then?
Back to the 6 where it belongs.
About 1 to 10. 10 might break it. It's been pushing 10 since I got it.
So next up on the dyno we have a 09 caliber srt4. This has a 3-inch exhaust, 3-inch downpipe, front mount, stage 2 BWS. Not the big one, just the small street one. It has a bass tune with 2 revisions by Mario from MI Tuning. This is also the car that I went 13.9 at 106 on 15 pounds on the base spring, and it should now be around 17 or 18 pounds. And this car on the dyno before the BWS, with all the other mods, it made 298 wheel. So leave down in the comments below what you think it's going to make. Lost for words. Pump gas, not on the 85, 3-inch exhaust, side dump, so it's going to be loud, and pretty much just bolt-on car with BWS and a street tune by Mario. Hopefully it cracks 330, 340 wheel.
Right on the edge of the roller.
Alright guys, so the Sonic is here, 1.4 turbo, 2013, and we got her on the dyno. We're going to let her cool down a little bit and see if she can out-dyno the Neon.
What?
What's the number to beat?
119.
It's got to beat 119, Will. Well, after a little trying to figure out how to make a dyno, so you basically have to put it in drive it up to 3rd gear, switch it down into manual mode, because when the back wheels aren't spinning, the shifter manual button won't let you manually shift the car. So now we're going to let it cool down. First hit 127, so it officially, with an automatic, makes 11 or 10 horsepower more than the single cam Neon. So this car is rated 6 horsepower less and makes 10 horsepower more. Crazy how that works. Alright guys, that will complete the video. So the Neon didn't crack 120 wheel. The Sonic cracked 128 wheel. Here's the last dyno chart. Smooth pull, automatic. Getting it to do a dyno pull, very interesting. And oh, more people are showing up. So video's done. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go get some dinner now. Hopefully you enjoyed all the dyno pools, and we'll get back to building some turbo Dodges soon.